There we go. All righty. And then I also want to open up the chat just in case somebody says something and I can see it. Lovely. Okay. Hey, Jimmy. Thanks for being here. Okay. So, we don't want to be like that guy in the previous picture, right? We don't want to be like the people who set resolutions or set goals and then you forget about them a week later, right? We want to be like this guy. We want to hit our targets. We want to be focused really all year long. So so that's what we're going to talk about today. There's a few reasons why we don't reach our goals. You know, we tend to be really hard on ourselves. We tend to get into go into the doldrums. We hide our goals from ourselves. We don't focus on them. We allow distractions to come in and take the focus away. So we want to we want to make sure that we are staying on target and that we are you know, and we're walking in that path that we've set for ourselves and that we believe God has set for us. So so this training, I just want you guys to know, I do say a lot of ums. This is my second training so far, and it was interesting the first time, and of course the second time I was so expecting things to go, you know, exactly the way I wanted to, but they didn't. But we're gonna continue and we're gonna move on, right? I'm gonna get better at this as time goes by. I'm gonna keep doing this because there's so many different trainings that I want to do. So I just wanted you to kind of let you know who I am, how I work, how I communicate. You know, I do tend to say a lot of ums, but I'm gonna get better as time goes by. I do read a lot, and so I pick up interesting words. So if there's a word that I throw in here that sounds weird, you don't understand it, let me know. And also, well, I was gonna be reading the Q&As from both Facebook Live and from here, and so there would have been a delay, but I only have the one place. Although in this live, there is also a Q&A. So when we get to Q&A time, put your questions in that Q&A section, and I can check them off as I answer them. Okay, are we all good to go? I see another person joined in, so I'm thankful. Thank you for joining. All righty, so we're going to talk about how to reach your goals. So we're going to start out with defining what are SMART goals. This is kind of a term that's been thrown around a lot lately, and you probably already know what the acronym stands for. The acronym SMART stands for, but we're going to review it. And then we're going to talk about an action plan, how to put together an action plan. And then we're going to go into, I'm going to give you my number one accelerator for reaching those goals quickly and faster than you can imagine and faster than you dreamed. Okay, so everything that sounds good, go ahead and type yes in the chat. Fantastic. Hey, Kevin. Okay, fantastic. So in about 45 minutes, when I get to my number one accelerator, I am going to give you an opportunity to join in with me and participate. So that's coming up. And then also I'm going to give you a bonus. If you stick around to the end, I am going to give you a bonus. Thanks, Claire, for the smiles. I appreciate that. Okay. Is my chat window in the way? Can you see the whole screen? Do I need to move it? Maybe I'll move it up here. How about that? Because I can't see the whole thing. So you all just, I'm keeping it on the screen just so I can see it. So first of all, SMART goals. SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So let's jump right into it. Specific goals, meaning they are unambiguous. One of my favorite podcasters likes to say, vague goals produce vague results. So what you want, define it and make it specific. One of your goals can be to make more money this year. Well, more money can be any amount of money if you're not specific about it. If I come to you and I give you $2, have you reached your goal? Well, $2 is more money than you had, or $2 more. It's $2 more than you had. So technically, you've made more money. But is that what you really mean by saying you want to make more money this year? Your goal should be measurable. Otherwise, how do you know you've reached it? So going back to that same example, if you want to make more money this year, specifically define what is more. Is more $2? Is it $10? Is it 100? Is it 1,000? Is it 10,000? Because if you don't define that, then you don't know whether you've actually hit the goal, right? If I jump into an Uber and just tell the driver, well, I guess an Uber is a bad example. If I jump into a taxi and I just tell the driver to drive or take me home, he doesn't know where my home is. I have to give him a specific address. Otherwise, he could take me to any home. Your goal should be achievable. That means it shouldn't be an impossible dream for you. If you are an artist and you're starting out with 100 fans at the beginning of the year and you want to be at 10,000 fans by the end of the year, I'm not saying that that's not impossible. However, it is a huge, huge hurdle. So make your goal achievable within the time frame, and that coming to timely, but achievable and realistic are kind of in the same vein, right? They should be achievable and realistic. If you are starting with that 100 fans, and by the end of the year, you want to be able to fill a stadium of 10,000 people. Well, in order to fill a stadium of 10,000 people, you're going to have a lot more fans than 10,000 because only a small percentage of them are actually going to come out to the show. So if you're starting with 100 fans and you want to fill a 10,000 seat stadium by the end of the year, that's probably not a realistic goal. So your goal should be within reach. It should be just outside of, it should be a little bit scary, right? Because it will make you reach for it. It's going to make you reach for it. It's going to motivate you to go get it, but it shouldn't be so outside the realm of possibility that it just discourages you and you're like, there's no way I can reach that. And then you also should have a time limit on that goal. So you can have a goal of, I want to get to 200 fans by June 21st this year, or I want to get to 500 fans by December 31st this year. That's putting a time limit on the goal. Once you have a time limit, you actually, that introduces urgency to your goals. And so now you have that another motivating factor to get you moving towards doing and reaching and putting in place your plans and your actions, the things that you need to do to reach that goal, because now you have a deadline. And we all know once you have a deadline, that's a really good motivator for getting things done, right? If you have a day job and you're at work and your boss says, well, I need you to deliver such and such to me by 12 noon. Well, and it's 10 o'clock now. Well, all of a sudden there's a fire under your behind to get moving and get something done because you've got to get it delivered by 12 noon. So having that time is a great motivator. Everybody with me? We all good? Understand what SMART goals are? Come on, it's okay. Y'all can talk. Maybe there's a delay. Okay, awesome, fantastic. Good, good, good. Okay, so this is how we get started. If I decide I want to release a project this year and I want to release it in October, this is a good place to start. Map out the year. It's January now. We have a week left in January. I want to release my project in October. So the thing to do is to put down, that's the thing that goes in first. Plus you also want to plan around your travel, your holidays, your birthdays, put all that stuff in. Put down album release October. And then to hit that goal, you want to fill in what the things that you need to be doing in July, August, September, in February, April, May, June to reach that goal in October, right? I have a list. One of my resources is called an album release roadmap. And it has a list of 28, maybe 29 now because I've added to it, 29 things to do in order to have a successful release. And that doesn't include having the CD release party. So all that stuff needs to be planned out and done so that by the time October gets here, everything is in place for your album release. So this annual vision gives you this bird's eye view of your whole year. So you know what's coming. Starting February, or what you need to be doing in May. You need to know, like, say in July you're going to the IGAA conference. In August you're going to the CD Baby conference. In May you're going to the Gospel Hip Hop Awards. In December it's Christmas and you need to have your Christmas music done, and how far in advance do you need to have that recorded so that you have time to actually promote it properly. So having this annual plan is a great bird's eye view of your year. And then now we look at a monthly plan, a monthly action plan. And that tells you what you need to do every month, each month. So you take that annual plan and you create a monthly action plan for each of those months. So say you're releasing your project in October, your monthly action plan for July might be being in the studio or mastering the songs. Your monthly action plan for February might be writing a couple more songs because you need a couple more songs for the album. Or it might be looking for more songs, or deciding on the plethora of songs that you've already decided that you like. So that's a sample of an action plan. And this right here is actually a sample of it's a template of my monthly action plan. It's not filled out, but I have a revenue goal, I have a main offer. So I have to decide, like, what's the price of my main offer? How many sales do I need to make? And then what are my marketing strategies that I'm going to do overall for the month? And what am I going to do every day in order to reach that monthly goal? So I did kind of a sample one for an artist. Say, your main task for February would be to write songs. How many songs do you need to write? Well, you need to write 2. And every month you have to have your marketing strategies. You also have to have your daily activities. So in order to write those songs, you're probably going to need to get into a quiet place and actually sit down and write. You may need to develop the habit of carrying a notebook around with you everywhere you go so that when inspiration strikes, you can write it down immediately and not forget it. Then again, I'm talking like an old lady. I suppose if you're a youngin', you're not going to be walking around with a notebook. You're just going to record it in your smartphone, right? That's one of the things I do too. I kind of use both. I'm Generation Xer, so I do the old-fashioned thing and I do the new thing. I use Evernote on my phone and take lots and lots of notes on there, but then I also have a notebook where I write stuff down. So yeah, so this is kind of it's your monthly map that you can see what you need to be doing that month to meet your goal. And then of course, then you break down your monthly action plan into your weekly to-do list. And you put in every day, what do you need to do to, or for the week, map out your week based on that monthly action plan. And so I did up a sample one. Say you're an artist and you're trying to do some songwriting. You want to set aside time several days a week to do that. But then I also have in here some samples of some marketing that you can be doing. So you're writing a song, that's your activity, but you also get started on marketing that song even before you've written it. You can talk about your ideas on social media or announce your new song and talk about song lyrics that you have in mind. And you kind of put those things in your schedule along with other things that you might have going on. What do y'all think of that? Anything? All righty, I am going to go on. Wonderful. And I guess I'm going to ask you, Claire, if this sounds like something that you do, because you said you are pretty good at goal setting. This is something that I recently, I guess I knew it, but I didn't actually have the templates and the tools to do it before now, really. And it really is a game changer. You plan per month, right? So now you know that once you plan every month, you also need to take that and break that down into weeks, right? So you do your weekly plan, and then your weekly plan breaks down into a daily to-do list. So every day, now you know what needs to be done. So say you have, over the course of the week, you've identified 20 hours that you have to work on your music ministry. Well, now with your weekly plan, you can make out a daily to-do list. And that same podcaster likes to say, she said she doesn't like to go to bed without planning her next day. So every day ends with a plan for the next day so that she's not waking up feeling like, I don't know what I'm doing today. It's just kind of chaos. I don't know what's going on. She always knows what's going on because she's planned it out the previous day. And then planning it out every day, it does allow for some adjustment because maybe things don't go right like they should. Maybe, the traffic was really heavy and the drive to pick up the kids took so much longer than it should have the day before. So now the things that you were planning to do that day now get pushed to the next day. So if you're planning every day, it does allow for some adjustment. So you put in your daily to-do so that within that 20-hour time period that you have allotted for the week, you know what you're doing every day. It's not ambiguous, and everything is really focused towards that main goal that you have. Any questions so far before we move on? So I know about a little bit about Claire. Claire is our resident Londoner who is up at midnight tonight. Both Kevin and Jimmy are on the East Coast with me, so it's still a few hours yet till our bedtime. And so Kevin, what about you? What about your goal setting habits? Are you gonna start doing some of this stuff? And what about you, Jimmy? And who else is on? I have, oh, no, it's just Claire and Jimmy. Claire and Kevin. Okay. I think we lost Jimmy somewhere along the lines. All right, if there are no questions, I'll move on. Okay, so let's talk about the #1 accelerator for getting your goals and meeting them. And that is coaching and mentoring. And the reason is because when you're coaching with somebody, you tell them what your goal is. And if that person is good, they help you map out a plan. They help you put together that annual plan, that monthly plan, work out your weekly schedule around your life as it is now to help you to go towards that goal. And having that coach accelerates you getting towards your goal because you have another person to bounce ideas off of. You're working with somebody who's experienced, who has knowledge and can share things with you so that you're not necessarily learning by trial and error. You have somebody that you can ask questions of and get immediate knowledge. They support you, they give you motivation, education. The potential is pretty exponential. And this is why a lot of people like to have accountability partners. It's why, the coaching industry is blowing up, really, because people realize that having that person in their corner kind of pushing them, they can go farther faster than if they were doing it on their own. Any questions on that? Do you have a coach? Anybody that you bounce ideas off of? Anybody that's kind of holding your hand through the process of getting to your goal? And I forgot to look at my Q&A panel, but I don't see any questions so far. So you have a partner who's good at it. That's awesome. Okay. Right. So, and since you both have stayed to the end, Jimmy missed out on this. I am going to send you my annual review preview. It's a good mindset exercise that helps you review your past year and preview your new year. So it helps you decide what you want your year to look like and what your goals should be. So I am going to be giving this to both Claire and Kevin for sticking around to the end. And I would also like to introduce my 90-day private coaching program for independent Christian recording artists. What I do is I coach artists around branding themselves, fan base building, and making money with their music. One of my favorite quotes, it's a quote that I came up with. Anyway, I do what I do because I believe Christian artists who are gifted and anointed and have a message for the world shouldn't be broke. And so that's why this is my niche. the branding, the fan base building, and monetizing, making money with your music. The people who are making money in music should not just be the gatekeepers, the distributors, you know, well, iTunes is gone, but Apple Music, the Spotify's, they should not be the only people. How about the artists themselves should be making money with their music? It is their music. They are the creators. And so I believe that that artists should be the ones to do it. And so I am offering this 90-day coaching program for high-level support. If you have a big dream, your big dream requires big support. And so that is what I do. I am here to support you as an artist in putting your music out into the world, to your niche, to your tribe, to your fan base, to the people that your music is meant to reach. I don't believe that your music is for everybody. I hear artists say all the time, oh, well, my music is for everyone. Everybody loves it. No, actually, everybody does not love it. Taste in music is subjective. So I help artists to find their unique tribe. I provide guidance, education, motivation. I have tools, lots of tools, like I was telling you about my album release roadmap. I have guides on what to say to your fan base, how to build that relationship. I have a partner who likes to say the music business is about relationships and budgets. So if you are interested in getting high-level support and guidance and someone to help and guide you, walk with you, hold your hand through this whole process of fan base building, there's so much that that artists don't know. And I don't know if they're just not paying attention or but I'm here. I'm able to reach artists that other people aren't able to reach. And so if you are interested in working with me, book a free session with me at echemusic.com/MMA, and we can talk for 30 minutes and I can assess your goals and find out if we are a good fit to work together. And of course, like I said, you're going to get my review preview as well as the replay of this training. And I hope that this has been helpful to you and that you are able from here on out to not only make those goals, but to reach them. I think another thing that I forgot to mention was that when you write down your goal, well, first of all, once you decide on a goal, writing it down, having pictures to go along with them is an awesome thing. It really does work. So when people say to create a vision board, that's a phenomenal thing, because when you create pictures, your brain starts just kind of going towards it. I put a picture of a certain car up in my office. I started seeing that car everywhere I went. And then writing down that annual plan, then drilling it down monthly, and then weekly and daily, it wipes out a lot of that ambiguity and time wasting, really, not knowing what to do and how to spend that 20 minutes. It really helps you to focus on that goal. And that's another thing too that vision boards do, is they help you to focus on the goal. So I hope that this has been helpful to you. And I thank you so much for joining me. You have made an investment in yourself and in your ministry by spending this time with me. You will be getting my review preview and also a replay of this session. And don't forget to go online, and let me put this in the chat. Go to echemusic.com/MMA and book a free session with me. Let's talk and let's figure out if you and I are a good fit to work together. And Claire, if you don't find a good time on my calendar, because I do usually do evenings, but my friend who is in London, I speak to her at 11 a.m. my time. It's like 7 p.m. her time. So I am willing to work around the time difference. Okay? So if it has to be a weekend, I'm willing to do that. All right. So thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if there is anything I can do. If you have any more questions, I am here to help you and to answer your questions. All righty. And that is the end of this lovely training. Thank you for spending the time with me. Have a wonderful evening. Good night, Claire. Get some sleep.